Hey guys, KingBall06 here, and we're back with another video. In this video, I'll be drawing Harmonia dressed as a shinobi from the Hidden Leaf Village. In this video, I'll be talking about my thoughts on the ending of Boruto, the big three in Class 1A, and my search for new anime to watch. So as I discussed in last week's video, this is the end of Boruto, 293 episodes. Obviously, I knew Boruto wasn't dead because in the very first episode of the series, we see a future time skip. I don't know what to call it, but basically we see an older version of both Boruto and Kawaki fighting on Naruto's broken stone face. So for obvious reasons, that makes anything that happens before that point in terms of Boruto dying irrelevant, because we know he doesn't actually die. I just didn't know the method in which Boruto wasn't going to die, and I'll be talking about that a little later in this section, but for now, let's talk about Kawaki versus Code. So before we talk about the fight itself and Code getting absolutely manhandled, we gotta talk about the fact that Amado installed a karma into Kawaki without his consent, back when Amado fixed his right arm. If you guys remember Naruto's fight against Delta, Kawaki sacrificed his right arm to make sure that Delta didn't blast Naruto with basically her incinerating ray that destroys all cells, even those that regenerate, which is why Kawaki's arm was messed up at the time. And as a result of that, he had to use a prosthetic arm that Naruto used his chakra in order to make sure it functioned, because the prosthetic arm was designed for Naruto specifically, so it only worked with Naruto's chakra. So now in Boruto, Kawaki has this karma, but rather than Ishiki being able to control him, since Ishiki is gone, it's basically kind of like Code's white karma, except that Kawaki has Ishiki's abilities. Sukuna Hikona, and I forget the name of the other one, but the other one allows him to pull things from another dimension, and Sukuna Hikona allows him to shrink things and then restore their size. So you take a rod, he shrinks the rod to the point where it's invisible to the naked eye, and then boom, he restores it, and then it goes through Code. And that's part of how he was clapping Code, and also how he was fighting against Momoshiki, who was taking over Boruto's body in the previous episode. So through this, Code got manhandled. Like I said, he got clapped. He tried to use Shikamaru as a hostage, but Kawaki only cares about Naruto, so using Shikamaru as a hostage was a complete waste of his time. At the beginning of the last episode, Naruto is thinking back to his memories with Boruto, from Boruto holding him in his arms to the Chunin exams and some of the aftermath of the fight against Ishiki. So Code tries to use his claw marks during the fight to escape, but Kawaki uses Sukuna Hikona to shrink them to the point where he can't use them. So now they have a counter to Code's claw marks, or at least Kawaki's the only one who can really counter them. As explained in previous episodes, his claw marks are essentially kind of like immune to his flying Raijin. Anywhere where his formula is, he can instantly teleport, and Code can go anywhere where his claw marks are. But now that Kawaki's found a way to counter it, he's not really going to be able to do that so easily. However, regardless, Code was able to escape. Shikamaru did prevent him from taking Kawaki. Basically what happened is Kawaki was about to do the finishing blow on Code, but Code used his claw marks to pull Damon in order to reflect the attack against Kawaki, because Damon's ability is, if someone has an intent to kill, he can redirect that intent to the enemy. So that's why Kawaki was hit with his own attack, essentially. So going back to Momoshiki and Boruto, so the reason why Momoshiki was able to, or no, the reason why Boruto isn't dead is because Momoshiki basically reconstructed the karma to recreate the organs that Kawaki took out. so that Boruto wouldn't die. But as a result, Boruto's become a full Totsuki because all the karma's data has been extracted, and now Momoshiki can't take over Boruto's body, so at least there's that. However, Kaoki still sees Boruto as a risk to Naruto. Kaoki's priorities and make sure Naruto is safe. So in the future, Kaoki and Boruto will fight against one another, and that's why we see the sort of like time skip into the two fighting. So with that, there might be a possibility for some Boruto fan art. I'm not sure about Boruto's manga specifically. Maybe Kaoki, maybe some of the members of Kara have only drawn Delta, but we'll have to see. After watching World Heroes, which is My Hero Academia movie, I got to thinking that within Class 1A, the big three would be Deku, Great Explosion, Murder God, Dynamite, and Shoto. Those are their hero names, by the way. In this specific movie, the three were the main guys to go over to the main Human Rise base in order to stop the bombs that kill people with quirks, which since there's 80% of the world, yeah, they saved basically the entire world. They're always in the center of things for Class 1A. Shoto and Bakugo were the two top performers in the festival, and Deku is the one who got Shoto to unleash his fire for the first time in the series, at least that we see. Shoto and Deku were fighting against Stain to save Tenya and Native, and they were both a part of the Bakugo rescue. Bakugo and Deku took the lead in combat training against Class 1B in Season 5, which World Heroes is based on Season 5 because Deku uses Black Whip in the movie. Shoto was the powerhouse of his team, Bakugo was taking the lead on his team, and Deku did most of the work on his team because unlike Bakugo's team, they didn't really have anyone to scout because his team was him, Ashido, Uraraka, and Mineta. None of them have recon abilities, but Bakugo had Jiro. So Deku had to do more work, and that was pointed out by Jiro and Sero when they were watching the battle. I'd say arguably they're the best three combatants of Class 1A, but I would argue Momo being above Deku for both her just general analytical skills, her versatility with her creation, and given that her creation requires her to know what the stuff she's creating is made out of, she probably has more general knowledge than him. And I'd say just her natural intellect is also just better. I think the main flaw is I think Deku is more flexible when he's fighting against something that he hasn't seen before. Momo takes a little more time to think, which is why Kendo's strategy was just to rush Momo and get her to the point where she couldn't think. It didn't work out too well for her, but Kendo's team did win when they went up against Momo's team, which it was her, Tsukuyomi, or Tokoyami, that's his real name. It was, I forget the other two, not Hagakure, no, it was Hagakure, and then Aoyama. So, yeah, but regardless, I think Great Explosion, Murder God, Dynamite, Deku, and Shoto are generally the main guys when it comes to the major conflicts within the series. If you look back at Season 1 even, Shoto was handling all the villains with ease in the USJ because they're all low-time villains. Deku took the lead against in the shipwreck zone with Asui and Mineta, and Bakugo was handling the villains with ease as well and decided to take the lead to go after Kurogiri. So I think their general attitudes and their natural, not natural, but they're just leadership qualities allow them to just stand out in their own ways, and even if they're not the best when it comes to combat, they can make up for it with their general attitude or strategy or whatever else that they may have. So since Boruto has ended, My Hero Academia is about to end soon, and Reincarnated as a Sword ended a few weeks ago, I'm gonna need some new anime to watch because I used to have 4 to watch throughout the week. And there's still Tokyo Revengers, but last week an episode did not come out, so I'm not sure if it's going to be coming out consistently. So far, the latest episode for dub at least is 7. So, and after My Hero Academia, I'm hoping to find some more anime, just watch them, whether they're ongoing or they're finished. At this point, I don't care. I've tried to look for some ongoing ones using Anime Suit and filtering, but I haven't found anything so far. So, and I did try out this one, Uncle from Another World. It came out a couple days ago. The entire dub came out a couple days ago. And the premise is, since 2000, this guy has been in a coma for the past 17 years, so he doesn't know anything about the internet and anything that's going on. Throughout those 17 years, he was living in another world, he learned magic, and he uses that to make money on YouTube. I tried out the first couple of episodes, not really into it, which is why I've only seen those 2 episodes. So, I do want to start taking notes on every episode of Fairy Tail or Black Clover, which is a series I played through while I was doing Nerdles and doing art. I'm also doing that with Dragon Ball Z right now, just playing in the background while I focus on some art stuff, which, by the way, a lot of stuff is going to be coming out soon. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. And, yeah. If you guys have any suggestions for any anime that I should watch, please let me know, because I seriously need it right now. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, check out my Twitter and Discord, both are in the description. If you want to know what I'm currently doing or thinking about, those 2 places are the best places to go. I will see you guys next time.